Why is boxing the only sport where you do not know the score while the match is happening? In football, in rugby, in cricket, in Formula One, you can walk into a room as a fan, look up at the TV screen, and see who is winning. Oh, look, there's Djokovic. He is 2 sets to 1 up. Look at the Formula One. Look, there's Lewis Hamilton. He's in 5th place. Rugby, you can check out the score. Oh, look, New Zealand are kicking ass. They're, 41 points up. But in boxing, you walk into the room and you do not have a Scooby-Doo who is winning the fight. Not even the participants know who is winning the fight. And this leaves our great sport open to robberies. There can now be the 3 blind mice on the judging panel because nobody knows the score until the fight is over. What this means is fights can be manipulated. We can get scorecards being changed. We can get wrong decisions being fired out. We can see bigger robberies than Hatton Gardens on the regular. And particularly we're seeing it loads in the amateur game. But in the pro game, it can be devastating on a fighter's career, to lose a fight that they've clearly won. So how are we going to stop this? How are we going to prevent robberies from happening? Well, listen, guys, it's pretty simple, to be honest with you. Put the scores up. Let the fighters know who's winning. Let them know what they need to do to win the fight. Let the fans know who's winning. Maybe just have a really simple scoring mechanism. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and show it up on the screen. Put the score up at the end of each round. If they put the scores up at the end of each round, there can be no robberies. If one fighter is getting beaten so badly, he's getting the beats put on him like he's Dr. Dre, and the cards go up and they say that this fighter has won the round, there'll just be absolute outrage. So it will stop the robberies. It will stop people from manipulating fights. No more Stevie Wonder on the judging panel. No more Ray Charles on the judging panel. Get the scores up after each round. What do you think, my people? I think it's a classic way to be able to stop the robberies from going on and save the fighters. Let them know what they need to do. You put the scores up. If a fighter knows he is losing, he knows he has to put his foot on the gas pedal. He knows that he has to up his outage. His work rate needs to increase. He knows he needs to throw and land more punches. So let the brothers know what they need to do. Stop the robberies in our sport. It's discouraging fighters. It's, destroying fighters. And it's ruining credibility of the sport. You're seeing a great example, Jack Catterall against Josh Taylor, where, he clearly won that fight. He should have gone on to, have major titles and be a bigger name in the sport with bigger paydays. And because he's been robbed, because he's had food taken out of his mouth, he hasn't been able to kick on in his career. And that has cost him millions of pounds and a hell load of respect. And open scoring. What do you think, my people? Double jab, right hand down the pipe on the like button and comment. Let's get this debate going. What do you think they need to do to stop robberies? I've given my solution. I want to see open scoring. It was tried again. It was trialed in the Olympics. I think in the pro game, we need to see open scoring. Put the scorecards up. Let the participant know who's winning, and then, it means that there's going to be, less tomfoolery going on. Now, listen, the disadvantages of what I'm saying is, of course, it's great for the participants to know who's winning. Like I said, in all the other sports, who's up, and the participant knows who's up. But the disadvantage is going to be is, if you see a fighter seeing that he's 8 rounds down, would he just quit? Could we just see fighters quit? No one wants to see that. Do you know what? We just throw the towel in. You know what I mean? throw the towel in. We're just do this thing another day, because I'm already losing. I'm not going to get the knockout. I'll just throw the towel in, and people don't want to see that. We had Turkey Al Sheikh at the Terence Crawford versus Canelo press conference, basically say, I want to see no more Tom and Jerry fights, and he was referring to the New York card where Haney and co just circled. Those guys just circled like they were looking for a car park in London. Them, them brothers looked like they were playing musical chairs the way they were circling out. No action, running away. You know what I mean? They look like Usain Bolt on meth. What I mean? Like, people don't want to see that type of thing. We need to see some proper action. People want to see some phone box action. But I think if fighters generally knew they were down, coming towards the end of the fight, you're a round or two down, or you need a knockout, then I think you'll see fighters throw the kitchen sink. I think you'll see fighters throw not just the kitchen sink, but the air fryer, the dishwasher, the oven, the whole IKEA units. You know what I mean? Like, everything will have to be thrown in for all of them to get future paydays. So you're not going to see the Tom and Jerry fights. You're going to see people come forward looking to Brock man's up, looking to bad man up, looking to put man away like they're the Christmas decorations in January. Put those brothers away, and you're going to see people, sticking around. They'll know that they're down on the scorecards. They know they can turn it around, and I think you'll see fighters staying in the fight. Staying in the fight, not going away, being like an unpaid bill. Not going away. Going to trying to get the win. I do get the point that some fighters may quit. That's not going to be sit nicely with some people. I know that's not going to sit well at all. No one likes quitting in this sport, in this great sport. And that's the only disadvantage I see to it. But I want to be able to come into a room and know who is winning the fight. I want to be able to see who is winning. And I don't want to just be told at the end who's won that fight, when my mince pies have told me this brother has won every single round. My mince pie said this brother's won every single round, and then the card's read out. Everyone's nervous, and it goes the other way. That has to stop in this sport. I think it's time now to make sure there's no more robberies, and by having open scorecards and visibility, not just for the fight fans, but for the coaches and the fighters as well. If we give visibility to the game, there can be no more robberies, no more robberies at all, and we won't be seeing the great, some of the biggest heists in sporting history going down anymore. It would clean up our sport. It would give our sport credibility. Let us know what you think. No more robberies is what Gunman is saying. I am saying, let's clean the sport up. Let's get the right results. This would be like VAR for boxing. Let the fight fans know who is winning their fights. Let the fighters know who's winning their fights. Let the coaches know who's winning their fights. Comment below, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's have this out. Let's end robberies across all levels of the fight game. Peace out.